Welcome back to this brand new edition of The Meltdown. Today on the show, Tim Allen is back. The wrestler Sting has gone into retirement. Which television game shows are the cream of the crop? And Spud finally joins the show. Can't wait to introduce him. Right now, this is The Meltdown, presented by MyBookie, broadcasting live from the Culver studio.
Two big boys in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know. It's time for the meltdown. You're coming for the meltdown. Look into the meltdown. Let's start the show.
Indeed, let's start the show. That was a nice, mellow jam. That's what happens when you end up getting an Amazon package that smells a little funny.
Yeah,
it ends up puts you in a different state of mind, and that's what we got there. We appreciate that performance, Rockstar. Thank you to all of the Meltdonians out there. Guys, it's catching on like wildfire.
In your brain.
Put it out.
We need that on a T-shirt, Meltdonians. Meltdonian City.
I'm good.
We'll work on that. I am Tim Melton. That is John Lunsford, Rockstar, and Tyler here with us. Spud joining us here shortly on the show. Cannot wait for his appearance. John, we appreciate our title sponsor. That's MyBookie.
Yeah, MyBookie.ag is where you can go and play the games. Small NHL slate tonight, but I've already laid a few bets there on that one. Use promo code NEXTROUND to get a first deposit bonus when you join up. You can bet on any kind of sport. I've already put some stuff on the Academy Awards coming up this weekend. A lot of favorites for Oppenheimer, so not a lot of great bets there. But, you know, you can find a few underdogs here and there that may work their way in there. Lily Gladstone's still the favorite, by the way. But sprinkle a little on Emma Stone, and next thing you know, you made a little money. You can there, blackjack, roulette, a bunch of games, plus slot machines in the casino as well. Go to mybookie.ag, promo code next round, bet anything, anytime, anywhere with our friends at MyBookie.
I'd like to get into this right off the top. It just dropped from Variety, reporting that Tim Allen is one step closer to returning to ABC for a third time. You may remember the other two shows in which Tim Allen had. Can anyone name them right off the top of your head?
Last Man Standing.
And Home Improvement.
And Home Improvement. Home Improvement is one thing that John and I have both gotten behind in our lifetimes there in the 90s. That's a great impression.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Now Tim Allen is reportedly returning with a show called Shifting Gears, where he's on board to star and executive produce the multicam sitcom pilot. If it's not broke, why fix it? Right, Rockstar?
Isn't it broke?
Well, I mean, Last Man Standing, which got dropped from ABC and picked up by Fox, still had consistent numbers throughout its run. Tim Allen is still a sitcom star. The question is how many people will turn
people watch sitcoms at all?
Who watches
to
sitcoms?
that format. That's what I was getting to.
Well, Tim, who's going to watch that? Yeah, who's going to watch that show? I mean, I can't tell you the Last Man Standing episode I saw. Did watch Home Improvement, but I was also 12.
I watched a little bit of it when it first started because it was coming off the, hey, remember Home Improvement? Well, he's back. And
Santa Claus has his own show. I mean, it's just weird.
And I don't know. Never did it for me. The second show, I did like Home Improvement, but nobody watches sitcoms anymore. Nobody watches network TV anymore.
I am a Tim Allen fan. I will remain a Tim Allen fan. I'm excited for this show. Tim Allen, you have me in your corner here from the Meltdown.
Hey,
nobody else is going to watch it.
You know, it hit
25%.
And you got the name. Watch this. Tell me if I want to watch the show. Do it again.
Hey, Rockstar, you want to watch this new show that Tim Allen's in?
I don't think so, Tim.
Wow, that was perfect.
Al Borland, guy.
I hate how perfect that was. 2024 movie musical Mean Girls. It dropped on Paramount Plus yesterday. Have you watched it a second time, John? I know you're clamoring to do that.
That is an absolute no. I will never watch that one ever again.
It made over $100 million at the global box office.
Nothing else going on when it came out. I mean, it was the only movie for like a month and a half until Argyle came out.
It was number one for 3 consecutive weeks, and everybody that I talked to about it was like, oh, I do not like it. And it just kept remaining number one.
The problem is the first one is a classic. Like, it's one of the funniest movies out there. It's one I can always turn on and watch. It's you know, in the height of like Tina Fey SNL time is when it came out and she, you know, did it, but no, it does not play. Plus all the actors from it, I mean, Amanda Seyfried has blown up and been really big. Lindsay Lohan fell off but was huge at the time. Rachel McAdams is really big and in a bunch of different things. But I mean, this one,
Lacey Chabert
dropped Family Guy for some reason and tried to become an actress.
Who's the star of Dune 2, by the way?
Oh, Timothy Chalamet.
There you go. I just love the way you pronounce names.
That's how you do it.
Mean Girls there on Paramount Plus if you want to check it out. One movie that's also getting a lot of buzz for trying to replicate material from the original iteration, that is The Crow, as Bill Skarsgård has been cast as the title character. And the first look came out last week. We haven't gotten a chance to react to it. TMZ ran a story that was pretty scathing, saying Crow fans are not happy, blasting the over-the-top body art and unkindly comparing him to Jared Leto's Joker.
That's the first thing I thought.
From Suicide Squad. You guys have seen this image. Our audience is seeing this image right now. When you look at this image, do you see, oh, that's a really tough guy I don't want to mess with? Or does it look like somebody who made all the wrong decisions in high school?
It's like anorexic Pennywise. That's all I can see.
Well, he did play Pennywise, so that's not...
I know, but like, just it doesn't look like he's strong. I never saw The Crow. I don't really care. I know Tyler can speak on this way more than I can, but it looks like he's like sickly instead of he's trying to be strong, but instead it's just like his bones you can see instead. I don't know. It looks weird.
For those that don't know, and Tyler, you already do know this, The Crow follows a murdered man who comes back to life to enact his revenge against the men who killed him and his fiancée, with a dark vibe for sure. The whole film is basically a fantasy revenge flick. You're a big fan of the original Crow. Does this image live up to the hype for you, Tyler?
Absolutely not. I thought this is one of those movies that just shouldn't be remade. It is Brandon Lee's legacy, and also I saw a statement from the director. He said Bill Skarsgård's look in this is based off of a mix of Post Malone and Lil Peep.
I like that.
Why would it not be based off
Jared
the guy
Leto.
from The Crow?
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't that be what it's based off of? I don't know.
It is not. In the original film, the character played by Bruce Lee's son, Brandon, wore a black leather jacket and bodysuits and white face makeup that made him look more like a corpse.
Sting.
But this is a very different look, and the internet is not happy about it, as you have all these tats with fans screaming that this is just Jared Leto from Suicide Squad.
He looks worse.
2.0.
He looks like a SoundCloud rapper that didn't make it.
Oh my! I like the nipple tattoo.
It looks like his like six pack is also tattooed on.
Yeah.
Too like everything about it just looks fake. I'm sorry.
There's our review of the first image from the film.
Tim
The film
Allen.
may be great.
Tim Allen should have been the Crow.
You think so?
Yeah.
That would have worked out. One thing that Jared Leto's Joker needed was a good dentist. He had a lot of bling in his mouth. No matter how much bling you have in your mouth, the only dentist that I would recommend is at Alabama Dental Associates. You have Dr. Brian, you have Dr. Jeff. In the early stages of this show, we met with them. They were excited about partnering up with us here at the Meltdown and spreading the message of what it means to be the friendliest staff in the business. You'll hear that friendly tone from the moment in which you pick up the phone and make an appointment with Alabama Dental Associates at 205-956-8977. The team is located on Grants Mill Road. They're happy to help you with all of your dental care needs at alabamadental.com. All right. A lot of people upset about this look of the new Crow. That film, by the way, coming out June 7th. But now we move on to a man that drew great inspiration from the Crow. That was Sting. It was pointed out by SB Nation that in his 39-year wrestling career, nobody at any point of the wrestler Sting's time in NWA, WCW, TNA, WWE, or AEW had a single bad thing to say about the man under the paint, Steve Borden. Sting thanked fans this past weekend in Greensboro, North Carolina, following a win at AEW Revolution this past weekend, as AEW really treated the send-off perfectly. His two adult sons dressed as different era Stingers. His tag team partner, Darby Allin, took a giant bump onto a bunch of glass. It looked very painful if you have not seen the clip. There were also chairs holding up that glass from way atop the ring off of a ladder during the match. The entire AEW roster came out on the stage applauding Sting as his off-air retirement speech left fans in attendance chanting, "Thank you, Sting." One person that came up to our studios today to pay their respects to the icon was our mutual friend, Brian Pavlik, and we'd like to share his thoughts on the legacy of Sting right now.
So when you think about Sting, first of all, the guy retired at 65, 67 plus years old. And this isn't just a corporate office job. This is going out, putting your body through pain, through tables, through travel, spending time away from your families. But when you think back of 40-something years of just entertaining, because wrestling is a form of entertainment, not just a scripted fake thing, it is entertainment. So for an entertainer to go for 40 years and still be as popular as they were in 2024 as they were in 1988, if you will, when he first really made it big, it's an incredible run in any industry. So you have this guy who's given up his body, who's sometimes unfairly treating his body with steroids, but then treating his body healthy enough for him to go till he's 60-something. It's an incredible testament to who he was as an entertainer, giving back to fans who paid money to see him. And I could vividly remember when he first broke on the scene in his Surfer Sting, crew cut, face paint, colorful attire look, all the way to what he just retired as now, as this black and white, a little bit gray in the hair. But when I was a little, if you will, Stinger growing up, I would get the action figures. I'd put the stickers on my face to show my Sting support in the crowd. To my kids, just last week, seeing him descend from the ceiling and still do the woo call, it was amazing. We've had action figures of Sting in our house for 30-something years. Anything from the Surfer Sting little guys when he was in WCW, all the way up to current AEW Sting. So when you talk about not just a legacy that he led in a ring, in a industry, he does it for families. And I never thought I'd say that I was sharing a moment with my sons watching Sting. So that's just a little bit of a testament to just how he transcended not just wrestling, but kind of was a part of our family for decades. And I know I'm not the only one who can say that.
That was really well said. I think Brian did a wonderful job there of encapsulating the career and impact of Sting, and we can't wait to get him back in to talk more wrestling here in the future. When you think of Sting, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Sting and his legacy is that crow look coming down from the rafters during the 90s on Nitro, really at the height of the Monday Night Wars, and what he did to elevate that resistance against the NWO and WCW times. Tyler, I know you're a big Crow fan. Did it ever translate over to becoming a big Sting fan with the way he looked after being inspired by the Crow?
Not particularly. When I watched wrestling, I was mainly an Undertaker and Rey Mysterio fan. Also Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. Big fan of them.
Hardy Boys.
Oh, yeah. Never really got into Sting, though.
You know, Sting wasn't as commercially popular as some of those other names in which you mentioned. He had a very short run in WWE, but it was a nice run. It was one that really encapsulated his legacy, and if that would have been it, that would have been enough. But Tony Khan brought him back to AEW. It was a big shock entrance. It was a really nicely done thing. They paired him up with Darby Allin, and that partnership went well. When you think of Sting, the wrestler, John, what will you remember most? Will it be that peak 90s era?
Yeah, I was never a huge Sting person. There was always somebody I would rather watch and be a fan of who usually would end up fighting Sting. The black and white, for me now, after the fact, I know before he was very anti-NWO, but then joining the NWO, that I think I put the two and two together, the very black and white look of NWO going with, I mean, boy, he's a natural fit. The minute the NWO starts, you just look at him and say that he'll be a perfect fit just from the look of him. But, you know, I did like with the little bit they brought him into WWE and kind of, I don't know if I'd call it a farewell tour, because obviously he went off to AEW and still, you know, kept going for a while, but it kind of was a little bit of a send-off for a lot of wrestlers that he was around throughout his career. But he's one of those that you just know the name, and when you play a video game, he's somebody you like to play as because he looks cool and everything, but was never like the guy for me, but always somebody that I could respect when they did come down to the ring.
We have Sick Nasty Heat in the chat saying was never a Sting fan either, but also respected what he did. Would have had a greater run round 2 in the WWE if Seth Rollins was a better wrestler. A little bit of a shot at Seth there for Sting maybe having some injury issues during his time there in WWE. The Hall of Famer ended a career that really will be unmatched. The next edition of AEW Dynamite takes place tonight. WrestleMania 40 takes place over 2 nights on Saturday, April 6th and Sunday, April 7th. As first reported by the Associated Press earlier this week, Paul Heyman will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2024. Are you a Heyman guy, John Lunsford?
Yes, I was. I feel like when he really was rising up wasn't really when I was paying attention to wrestling, but coming in after the fact And I guess he was with CM Punk when I really started kind of watching again, when you kind of got me back into it on the first version of the Meltdown. I was totally out of it. It's like, hey, you should check it out. You should watch it. I started really liking CM Punk. I like the combination of both being able to work the mic, and then he kind of went off with Brock Lesnar because Brock couldn't work the mic. And he's been very good for the wrestlers that can't work the mic. I would throw Roman Reigns in there as well for the most part. Hopefully he's gotten better over the 15 years he's been champion. But at first, when the Shield kind of broke up and then they kind of went individually, and then when he first joined with him, it's like, okay, good. Somebody can speak for the guy that they're trying to push so hard in WWE. But, looking back on everything he's done, kind of in a retrospective look of what he's done, you can respect everything he's done. And he is really good on the microphone. And I wish every time he appeared on screen, he had a microphone in his hand instead of just standing next to whoever he's with, holding up the belts and, talking about how great they are, whether they are good or not.
I would not be shocked if Paul Heyman delivers the greatest WWE Hall of Fame speech in the history of that broadcast.
I hope so.
It is one of the best parts of WrestleMania weekend when all of those legends are honored, and Paul Heyman, still very active in WWE, but is set to make a huge impact there at the Hall of Fame as a Hall of Famer. And he was WWE's competition for a long time there with ECW. It was never really a competition to where ECW could take down WWE, but they were chipping away at some of the market share for sure. And they became that third biggest program, that third biggest group that was doing wrestling events in the 90s. And while the Monday Night Wars were fantastic, it's hard to exclude ECW and their contributions to them. They had that invasion angle with Heyman coming in and trying to lead his ECW people in to take over WWE, and his legacy as being one of the best managers, if not the best manager in the history of wrestling, is only going to continue to grow. That discussion is only going to continue to flare up. I believe we have somebody at the window here.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Do we have somebody at the window? We do. And John, this is someone who wants to be our wrestling manager. This is Spud. He's going to come in here. Let's get Spud in here. Spud. Hey, Spud. Rockstar,
Let me get up.
so kind of you to give up your seat here for Spud. Spud, go ahead and work your way in here.
Just sit down, man.
So happy to have you. This is the way we do things on the Meltdown. A little unconventional to completely interrupt the show, but Spud, you're good at interrupting shows and knocking over cameras and doing everything that you're doing right now. You came in like a wrecking ball. You're the Miley Cyrus of the Meltdown.
Yes.
How you doing?
Well, I was doing good till I got that introduction.
What was wrong with the introduction?
I don't know. It sounds sort of deflating. The fanfare was nice, though.
That wasn't for you.
Oh.
Wasn't for you. That's what Rockstar just said. It wasn't for you. You're a part of our poker club. We talk about the poker club a lot here on the Meltdown. You're a card-carrying member of the poker club.
Number 73.
What makes the Primetime Poker Club, in your opinion, work?
The people. It's not just the game. I'm terrible at the game, and I know that when they send an Uber to your house to get you, make sure you're going to show up. That they think you're a whale in the game, but it's so much fun just hanging around with those guys and talking with them. Heck, we got a state champion in our group, and we got a bunch of varied characters. All of them are, well, almost all of them are characters to one degree or another, and it's I'll pay the freight for just the entertainment value.
Well, I'm glad you're there. We're trying to recruit Rockstar for a long time.
No, you are not, because
I don't think it's going to happen.
This guy gets upset. I make a lot of poker jokes, and he doesn't think I'll take it seriously, which I won't. I won't cross the river or whatever, or hit the bank or whatever y'all do. Like, I don't care about. Like, I would annoy. His face now. He does not like it. So I didn't.
The only reason I brought you into this is I didn't realize you had a microphone in your hand.
Yeah. Is it working?
Spud, for those that are new to you, and this is their first introduction, give us a little bit of a flavor profile of what you like entertainment-wise. Let's start off in music. What's your forte when it comes to your musical tastes?
Before there was Spotify and the other streaming services, I had CDs, and I just loaded all of my CDs into which iTunes was back then, and I would say of the 4,000 and change songs that I have, 80% plus are the AM radio hits between 63 and 75, maybe all the way up to 80.
Give me a couple of artists that dominate that era.
Oh, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, Eagles, Billy Joel, Elton John. that would, in terms of volume, that's almost certainly the top 5.
Where do you stand on that influence of music, Rockstar?
I think it's great. You got the Stones in there too.
Yes.
That's a very influential time when the Beatles came out. Like that was an explosion, and a lot of creativity came out from 63 to 75. Insane amount of creativity and good music came out.
And I saw them live, the Beatles live in 1965 in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium. And you'll like this, Rockstar. The sound system was 4 or 5 Marshall speakers on the pitcher's mound, along with the Beatles on the pitcher's mound. And then they played it through, next up, Manny Mota, through those speakers, too. You couldn't hear anything.
That's why there's really no footage of them playing live, because the screaming girls and everything, they try to play like 3 or 4 songs. Like, we got to stop because we can't hear each other. It's just a girl screaming, and it sounds like ass. It's just they didn't have the technology to play stadiums back then.
I was 14 years old, and I didn't understand why the girls were screaming. I do now. Too late.
Ringo's
Too
good.
late.
He's a good-looking guy.
Were you screaming, Spud? You weren't screaming?
No, I wanted them to shut up so I could hear the music.
Let's get a TV profile for you.
All right.
When you're thinking, we talked about sitcoms earlier here in the show. Home Improvement was a big one for me and John growing up.
I love that.
What's some of your all-time favorite sitcoms?
I like Home Improvement. I like Cheers. I like Seinfeld. I like some of the old ones. Andy Griffith, I guess that's a sitcom. The Honeymooners, I go all the way back to that. But if there's one show, if you sat me down and say, you got to watch any one sitcom for the next 3 hours, 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen is a whole step above everything else.
Wow.
I have never seen an episode where I didn't involuntarily bust out laughing.
What's the one where that hot girl came in?
That's all of them.
Okay. Yeah.
But Candy is the hot, stupid girl. And, I mean, if I ever went to one of those comic shows or whatever where she was there, I'd just tell her, I owe you something for all the laughs you've given me over time coming in there.
Give me a couple of movies that make your flavor profile. I want to try to get a pulse on where you're at.
Almost all comedies and sports. So, Blazing Saddles, most of the Mel Brooks, Major League, Caddyshack.
Hoosiers?
Hoosiers, excellent. Hoosiers, Field of Dreams, Bull Durham. Most of the sports movies. I liked some stuff from way back, like Breaking Away.
I noticed you have not mentioned Oppenheimer, which is the movie that I took you to last.
Last is the operative word there.
Do you still enjoy going to the movie theater when you get a chance?
It's movie theaters, comedy clubs, and concerts. I really only like going if I have a companion to enjoy it with. I don't think I would go to any of them by myself. The last time I saw Rockstar on stage was at Jefferson County Concert Hall doing the Fleetwood Mac show.
That was a good show. Thank you for
It was a good show, and I had a companion to go with that, and we enjoyed the show immensely. And I'm going back to see him in April when they do Abbey Road.
There you go.
Well, Spud, I have a surprise for you. Since I know you love companionship, we're all going to leave the studio, and you're just going to do the show by yourself. Okay?
And this will be the last show we did.
No, I have a surprise for you, though. One thing about Spud that everybody knows who knows him is he's addicted to
Trivia.
I was going to say divorces, but yes,
trivia. No,
trivia.
I'm going to say it's trivia, divorces, sleep, bridge, and Wilson. That's it. Wilson is the dog.
Trivia. What kind of dog is Wilson, by the way? People are going to ask.
Wilson is, in the biological sense, Wilson is 95% terrier and maybe 5% Australian Shepherd. You wouldn't know. He looks just like a terrier. But for the first 5 years, my friend Sarah and I used to say he was half terrier, half terrorist. But at 16, he's like me now. He likes to sleep, eat, pee, and poop, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
He doesn't play.
Hey, that's the life for me.
I hate I asked.
That's right. I mean, I'm a role model.
My mom was very adamant about, hey, on your show you need to talk about dogs because people love dogs and people want to talk about their dogs. And she's not wrong, but I haven't had that opportunity yet to really get into dog talk, and I appreciate you bringing that out of us, Spud. That means a lot. Let's get into what I actually have prepared for you.
Okay.
Which is some trivia. I'm calling it Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. You like that? You like the branding?
I like that.
This is going to go either very well or very poorly because we have not tested any of this. So buckle up. You're along for the ride here. There's a lot of rules to this.
Good.
And I need y'all to listen up because I'm only going to go over them once. I am.
Okay.
There are 3 different opponents with 3 different ways to score points.
Oh, God.
Before each question is asked, there will be a wheel spin to pick who has possession of the round. Contestants will then pick a number between 1 and 265. Why
You got
is
a
this
pen?
funny? This isn't.
I'm out.
We can number 1 through
I
10.
will-
1 through 265.
You can just keep yours 1
That's
through
such a very
20.
specific
I'm out.
number.
Guys,
1 through 8, that's
Yeah.
your scale.
Yeah.
A through F.
This is
Sorry, keep going.
Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia, and everyone loves it so far. I will then present a general category for the number in which you chose that lines up with the question. Some of the categories will remain a mystery. The contestant in possession of the round can either choose to answer it for themselves for 3 points, try to stump the competition by spinning the wheel again to force an opponent to answer the question for 2 points, or you can use Tyler as a helpful trivia teammate, and if you get it right, you get 1 point. However, there's some gambling involved here.
Always.
If you choose to answer the question for 3 points and you miss, then you are deducted 3 points. If you choose to have one of your opponents answer the question, they give the correct answer, then your opponent gains 2 points and you lose 2 points. If you choose Tyler and you do not get the correct answer, then you lose 1 point. The player with the most points after 15 wheel spins,
I hope you're keeping track of this.
I am, is your winner.
Can you post these up on the
What's great is
website?
this should be on a show, but it had to be like a 45-minute show because
know.
the first 25 minutes would be the rules.
No, I'm telling everybody once so that way we're all on the same
Hi,
page.
I'm Tim Melton with Triple Threat Trivia, and here are the rules today.
Somebody, 2 points, 3
Well,
points.
it's 10 p.m. Gotta go home. Hadn't
That's
even
it.
started yet.
We would already be done with the segment if you guys hadn't been complaining for the past
Us.
5 minutes. I'm just saying.
Us. The rules took that long.
Each player is given 30 seconds to produce an answer once the question is read.
That seems fair.
If after 15 rounds we have a tie,
15 rounds.
God have mercy on us all, then we go to an additional round with the players that are tied to determine the winner. Does anybody have any questions of how this works?
Just 100, but keep going. I'm
Just
already
tell us
tired.
tell me if I got the question right or wrong. And
Yeah,
then I'll move on.
Okay, I am spinning the wheel for the first time to see who starts this off. Remember, you have 3 options. You can either answer it yourself for 3 points, try to stump your opponent for 2 points, or use Tyler as a lifeline for 1 point. The first name here is John.
Ooh.
John Lunsford gets possession. And John, you need to pick a number for me.
Let's go 70.
Number 70. It's going to take a while to scroll down.
What if I pick
Blame the
256
key
or
master.
whatever?
All right, number 70. This is music history. Do you want to answer it yourself, try to stump your opponent, or use Tyler as a lifeline?
I don't want to stump my opponent because both of my opponents will know whatever this is, so I'll try it.
Going to try it here. Some of these are hard, some of these are easy. You be the judge of which one this is.
Hard.
Whitney,
You're smiling.
Here's the question. Whitney Houston went to the top of the music charts in 1992 with which smash hit?
I Will Always Love You.
That is correct. Good job, John. You won 3 points.
Also a good decision because Rockstar knew it too.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
That was actually an easy one. All right, let's keep going.
Moving on to
I like
spin.
it so far.
Moving on to spin number 2. This is going to go quick. Spud is now in possession of the
I'm
game.
going to take my Primetime Poker membership number 73.
73. The question is going to be U.S. geography history. That's the category.
I'm going to play this
You
myself.
going to play this one for 3
Yeah.
points?
A lot of history.
Here's the question. Who did the U.S. buy the state of Florida from?
Spain.
That is correct. Good job, Spud. 3 points.
For
So
the
far-
equivalent of today, I think it was like $27 million. Seriously. It's like 20 something crazy like
I
that.
still don't know why Panama City is not part of Alabama, but
All right, next up, in possession of the wheel. Ooh, it was close. Rockstar.
Oh, wow.
Rockstar.
So
he
cool.
actually gets to play.
Okay, good.
Can you imagine if you didn't get to play the entire time after hearing all the rules? How
So there's
boring that
15
would be?
spins?
There's 15 spins.
Okay.
I
Okay,
want
this is spin number 3.
213.
213 is the number.
Scrolling.
keep those doggies scrolling.
All right, this is a question that has to do with the culinary arts.
Oh my God.
Do you want to take it yourself? Do you want to give it to an opponent? Or do you want to bring Tyler in as a helpful aid?
I'll try because everybody else has tried it.
Okay, going for the 3-pointer. Here is the question. How many folds are in a chef's hat?
Ooh. Ooh, ooh.
How How many folds are in a chef's hat? Also, Lunsford, if you have access to the chat right now, you need to get away from the chat because they could aid you in your quest of success.
That would be cheating.
I will go 8.
8. Spud, you can steal for no points.
100.
100 is the correct answer. So you were close.
No, I really wasn't.
Times 12, you would have just been 4 short.
Rockstar sitting there at -3, but
I haven't.
still a lot of game left to play. All right.
Lunsford, what's 2 plus 2?
78.
Yeah, I would have stolen that one.
Next up on the wheel, Rockstar.
Good.
You get to go again.
Uh,
What number?
37.
Number 37.
Scrolling,
Does Rocky have
scrolling.
negative points right now?
He does.
3, -3.
Thank you, Lunsford.
Aren't you keeping score?
I don't know if you stayed at 0 or not.
This is a question about holidays. Holidays. Would you like to answer yourself to get back to even? Would you like to put it on an opponent to try to sabotage
I'm going to give it to Lunsford.
You're going to give it to Lunsford.
You did play Lindsey Buckingham, right?
Yeah, on
Did
Holiday
you do
Road.
Holiday Road? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, Lunsford. Here is the question. How long was the very first Thanksgiving? How long did it span? The very first Thanksgiving.
To the second.
Decimal.
4 days.
Correct answer? 3 days. 3 days.
Oh.
So that is
You stayed too long at the
Minus
party,
2
man.
Well, I was going
John?
through the weekend from Thursday to
Lunsford is still here.
Lunsford's at 1 point. Rockstar, you're
Everybody
now
go.
at -1. Spud is in the lead with 3. All right. That was spin number 4. We now go to spin number 5. I think y'all love the format and you're just too ashamed to admit it. I think you guys
I'm
love
beginning.
this.
It's beginning to grow on me here, like a fungus.
Next up, with possession of the wheel, that is Spud. Spud, give me a number.
173.
Number 173. That is going to be Oscar's history. Would you like to take it yourself, give it to an opponent, or bring in Tyler?
I'm giving it to Rockstar.
Giving it to Rockstar. Rockstar.
Mm-hmm.
This is about a movie in which you have never seen.
Okay, good start.
How many Academy Awards did Titanic win? How many Academy Awards did the film by James Cameron, Titanic, win?
What I like about these, there's no multiple choice. You just got to... I will go with 9.
It's actually rather close.
11, isn't it?
It's 11.
That was the second guess, was 11.
Which I believe is the most of any.
Tied
Lord of the
Ben-Hur, I
Rings.
think.
Lord of the Rings,
Lord of
The
the
Return of the King.
Yeah, I
tied.
think it got 12, but it tied Ben-Hur with 11, I think.
Spud, you are now up to 5 points. Rockstar, you are back down to -3.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
This is wheel spin number 5. I think it's... No, this is wheel spin number 6. I'm sorry. We're moving along so quickly.
Come on, Keymaster.
Here we go. I've got a lot going on here. I think the chat's loving this. Rockstar,
Okay.
what would you like to go with a number?
22.
Number 22. I have gone completely wonky in my questions here. Here we go. Number 22.
You're not going to be renewed for season 2.
I don't think so. I think I clicked something. Okay, number 22.
Failed Netflix experiment.
This is technological history is what I would call this category.
Is what you would call it. Okay.
What I would call it.
I will take it.
You're going to take it for 3
Yeah,
points.
I mean, like I'm in the negative, so.
Okay. Who sent the world's first text message? Who sent the world's first text
And I know
message?
I know what the damn text message was.
You do.
It's Merry Christmas.
That gets you no points.
Yeah.
Can you tell me who sent it? Oh. I can feel the intensity.
Yeah, I know it. What sucks, you know the wrong part of the question. Who sent the first text message? I will go with Bill Gates.
The correct answer is Neil Papworth. Neil
Pappy?
Papworth.
I would have said Bill
He'll
Gates
be on
too.
the show next week
Yeah.
at this time,
Damn.
sending text messages.
We are now moving on to spin number 7.
That's a much harder question than some of these.
It was Merry Christmas, though, correct?
I assume so. I'll have to
It
do
is.
a little
I think
extra
it's-
research
I'm
on figuring that out.
Fairly confident.
Guess who has possession of the wheel now?
Rockstar.
Correct. Is
I've only actually
called-
gotten one spin.
Let's go with 104.
104. Okay. Number 104, it's going to be space. Space is the category.
I'll take it.
For 3 points, how many moons does Neptune have? How many moons does Neptune have?
17.
You've been so close. Yep. It's 14.
Yep.
14 is the correct
That
answer.
was a hard question.
Yeah.
Rockstar.
How many moons does Uranus have?
Oh my god.
Depends on the night.
I was about to say the same thing.
I can't wait to spin again quickly and move on. From
Only had
whatever
one
commentary.
spin. Come on.
Next up, you want to guess who it is?
You gotta be kidding
Rockstar.
me.
It's John.
Okay.
John on spin number 8. What number would you like to go with, John?
1.
Number 1.
Automatic disqualification.
All right. This is going to be television history. Television history, number 1. You can either take the question yourself, give it to one of your opponents,
I'll try
or
it.
bring Tyler in as a helpful aid.
I'll try it.
Okay. Nobody trusts Tyler yet. For 3 points.
Saving it.
In what TV series did actor Tom Hanks co-star with Peter Scolari in the early 1980s? Are you in the chat right now? Are you looking at the chat right now?
No, he's not. I've known him a long time. He's not going
I
to
have my Lunce's list pulled up, so I'm
believe
not
you.
looking at
I
anything.
believe you. But don't show me your Lunce's list. Don't do that either. I didn't see it. 10 seconds. 9, 8,
Tom Hanks on TV.
7.
I just don't remember
6. You're a big Tom Hanks fan. 5,
on the big screen.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Ready, Spud? 1, 2, 3. Bosom buddies.
Bosom buddies.
I've never heard of that before.
They dressed as women.
They were trying to pay lesser rent or something, and then
They said that critics said that Peter Scolari is going to be the next big thing. Whoops.
I heard Bill Simmons make the argument of, wouldn't the cost of being a woman offset the amount you'd have to pay in rent to like have all the makeup and the dresses?
Seems like
and
a
the
fair
wig?
point, yeah.
I think that's always been a fair point. All right, John, you're now at -2. Spud, you're in a healthy lead here at 5. You are the trivia
The
master.
first time Spud and healthy have ever been used in the same sentence.
All right. Moving on to spin number 9. The game is actually wrapping up quite quickly here.
You did really good with this.
I think so,
You
too.
think so?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a lot better than I thought.
I just don't like the random element.
yeah.
John, you just got the wheel spin here. What would you
stand
what
by.
number would you like to pick?
What's the highest number? 265?
Correct.
Let's go the opposite end of the wheel because I did not know number 1.
265?
Yeah.
What's great is I don't think there's a wheel.
Oh,
This-
you just can't see it.
This is the category of architecture. Architecture.
I will pass this one to, I guess, Spud because he's in the lead. You'll probably know it, but I need points.
Now, I need a rules question here. Can I employ Tyler at this point or only if it's my question?
So you can not employ Tyler
Okay.
at this point.
You know anything about architecture, Tyler?
You have to take the question.
I'm going to take the question. I'll suffer with it.
How many feet tall is the Empire State Building without the spire and antenna?
To the nearest inch?
Yeah, to the nearest. I'll give you to the nearest centimeter.
And if you remove the 60th floor,
Yeah.
No, I mean, I want to be very clear.
Sidewalk included because the sidewalk's elevated.
How tall is the Empire State Building without the spire and antenna? That stuff gets changed
1,200
out.
feet.
It's 1,250 feet.
Yeah. I didn't get 14 for 17, so nope.
I didn't
But
get
that
4 for
is
3.
if I was the full judge here, which I am, I would give you the points. But I think I would have an absolute out.
That's the best pass I've seen since Milrow threw one into the corner against Auburn.
Oh, you didn't see Rockstar with me on the basketball court. That was
I
the
saw a
best
little
pass.
of it.
that was
I
impressive.
did see a little of it.
All right, John, you're back to 0 now. Congratulations. That was a successful pass. Okay, we are now going to spin number 10. And we are going to go
Rockstar.
with Rockstar. It landed on Rockstar. Rockstar, what number are you thinking? And by the way, I want that music behind me. It was so lovely.
Sorry,
52.
it ran out.
52.
The trash music is still on the board.
So lovely.
Jazz, man.
52. This is going to be about diseases. Diseases. You are at -9.
Okay, so I got a lot to win.
You
for.
can answer yourself to get up to -6. You
Ooh.
can stump your opponents by trying to trip them up. Spud has 3 points. John has 0. Or you can use Tyler as a lifeline to try to get to -8 points.
I want to go John.
He's going to pass this off to John.
Okay.
2 points here up for grabs for you. Which globally dreaded disease did the World Health Organization declare eradicated in 1980? Which globally dreaded disease did the World Health Organization declare eradicated in the year 1980? For 2 points. It really would make it a healthy competition. You'd be 1 point behind Spud if you get this.
Polio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you think it is, Spud?
Smallpox.
It is smallpox, but Spud gets no points for that. John
That's what I call before my time.
John loses 2.
1980s before his time. I quit.
Rockstar, you're now up to -7 points. That was a
Yes!
good move.
Another fine pass.
Spin number 11. I don't think we're going to be having any ties, so we don't have to worry about the overtime rules here. How are you?
There's overtime rules?
There were. I've read them out.
Tyler, have you known any of these? Okay, good.
It's back to Rockstar with possession of the wheel.
Good.
Got to make the most of your possessions. That's the key.
61.
61. This is going to be about comics. Comics.
Stand-up comics.
No, this is going to be about newspaper comics.
Oh, God. Spud.
Going with Spud?
Yeah.
Spud, what comic series is the CW's Riverdale based on? What comic series is the CW's Riverdale based on?
Spud's getting the easy ones.
He
You
doesn't
know which
it, I
ones
don't
are
think.
easy? The ones you know. Archie.
Archie is correct, Spud.
Damn it.
Congratulations. That's 2 points. Rockstar, you are back down to
I'm going to say Beetle Bailey.
negative 9 points. All right, spin number 12. We've only got 3 spins left. 4 spins left.
What?
That's called public education. Rockstar.
Hell yeah.
It's back on you. What number?
Oh, let's go with 32.
32. It's going to be a question about the periodic table.
Screw it. I'm going to lose anyway. Let's go.
Okay, going for the 3 points here. How many elements are currently on the periodic table?
It was 103. I will go.
What's that noise?
Thinking, my brain. I'll go 110.
I was thinking 117.
118.
Correct answer is 118. I don't think Spud can be beat at this game. I think we figured that out.
As long as you hit me in the soft spots, but
Yeah.
Spin number 13 is coming up.
Please be me. Please be me. Please
For
be
those
me.
wanting a score count, it is
Spud.
Spud winning pretty handedly here. Spud winning pretty handedly here. He's at 5 points. All right.
Getting after it.
Rockstar, you landed on the wheel
watch out,
again.
Caitlin Clark. I'm after you now.
Give me a number.
94.
94. This is going to be about food. This is a food question. I don't know why I say food so
Yeah,
weird.
so I'm
Food.
gonna give Tyler a shot on this one.
You're going to bring Tyler in.
Yeah.
For 1 point.
Oh hell yeah, this is big, Tyler. Don't screw me over.
Tyler, you don't have to give the final answer, but if Rockstar agrees with it, we'll go with it. According to Instacart, what is the most disliked food in America? According to Instacart, what is the most disliked food in America? This would be a food you could find at a grocery store.
As opposed to another store?
I'm just saying it's not a specific item, like a menu item. It is a ingredient.
The only thing I could think of was Brussels sprouts, Rocky. I don't know if you want to go with that.
I would have said eggplant.
Eggplant is your answer? Correct answer is anchovies. Anchovies is the most disliked. Rockstar, you've set a record here for least amount of points in the history of this game.
Everything is a record today.
That is correct. We're at question number 14. We're
I'm
going to
gonna
spin
go
the
with
wheel.
let's do 17. Oh, you haven't spun the wheel yet.
The only way this works is if John gets back-to-back help here, and I don't know if he's going to be able to. It's back to Rockstar.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Rockstar on the
17.
wheel.
17.
I've only actually been spun twice.
Well, it hasn't been effective for you. Number 17. This is going to be about literature. Literature. You can give it to Spud, and it could possibly bring him down. You could give it to John. He could possibly bump him up, or you could take it yourself.
Because I'm technically out of it, right?
You're technically out of it.
I'll give it to John.
John, for 2 points. In the book Pride and Prejudice, who is Elizabeth Bennet in love with?
Tony, isn't it?
the first thing that crossed my mind.
Spud has just been sitting back laughing the entire time while winning.
Elizabeth Bennet. So I'm assuming, I don't know who played it. Was that Keira Knightley that played it in the movie?
You're trying to go to the movies.
And
It's as good place as any.
Tom was the one that she was in love with, but obviously his name is not Tom or
10 seconds.
Matthew in that. Elizabeth Bennet was in love with.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Matthew McFadden.
Mr. Darcy.
Oh God, my wife's gonna kill me. She
Your
brings
wife
up
is
Mr.
going to
Darcy
kill
all
you.
the time.
Mr. Darcy is the
it Tony
correct
Darcy,
answer.
though?
Yeah.
Rockstar,
Always brings up Mr. Darcy with Tom.
you gained 2 points. Congratulations. All right, this is the last spin. We're just going to do it to see what number Spud sets as the most points in the history of the game. And it lands on Rockstar.
All right, good.
Rockstar, what number would you like to end the game with?
I would like to discuss the rules of this afterwards.
If you got a point for every time the wheel landed on you, you'd be way in the lead right now. Rockstar.
131.
That's a zone defense, isn't it?
131.
Yeah, 131.
This is going to be about United States politics,
Yeah, I'll give it to John.
U.S. politics.
Yeah, I ain't giving it to Spud.
Please God. Okay.
John, what U.S. woman was appointed as the first woman Speaker of the House?
Is Nancy Pelosi the first? I mean, that's got to be my answer.
That is correct. Nancy Pelosi is the correct answer. Final scores here. John finishes at -2. Rockstar finishes at -13.
Jeez.
Spud, you are the winner with 5 whole points. Can you imagine winning that many points and still being the champion? Congratulations, Spud.
I'd like to thank the Academy and my parents, all of my teachers.
Wrap
And
it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. We got to go. Wrap it up.
I don't know if John likes Meltdown triple threat trivia.
I would just like to have equal questions for everybody.
I think that you have to add in some strategy. Of
I would like more FaceTime.
No, if we both get 5 questions and Spud and I both get 4 right, then
How many?
we keep going.
How about you get the questions that are presented to you correct, and you don't have to worry about all of that?
But he gave me half of the hard ones, and I only actually got 2.
Mr. Darcy was the correct
Yeah,
answer.
she's already yelling at me in the chat. I got it.
she's
So you
yelling.
are looking at the chat.
I am now.
Sorry. John, you may hate this game,
If I
but
was looking at the chat, I would have seen my wife yell, Mr. Darcy.
you may hate this game, but I know you love Way to Wellness. I do too.
I do love Way to Wellness. I actually just came back from Way to Wellness. It was I got to turn the jazz music down. Sorry. Just got back from there this afternoon before the show and visited with everybody there and the whole crew, Leslie and her whole crew there. I'm down over 40 pounds on Way to Wellness, just over 5 weeks. And look, the plan's working for me. You can find a plan for yourself. Just go to aplanforme.com and learn all about Way to Wellness there. And hey, majority of the people in this room now have done something with Way to Wellness, and you can do that too. Go to aplanforme.com and learn more about Way to Wellness.
All right, it's now time for Lunce's List. Spud, here's how this works. I give John a topic. He counts down the 5 things that correlate with that topic. And today's topic is, what are John's 5 personal favorite game shows? John, is there anything, what's going on right now?
My wife has blown up my phone. Can't believe you didn't get Mr. Darcy. Thanks a lot for what you've done.
I could help you solve that problem,
It's really
but it's
Rockstar's-
rather drastic.
It's really Rockstar's fault because he passed it to me.
That's right.
That's very Pride and Prejudice of you.
Yeah,
I don't think that you liked our little game show there. Maybe you'll like it after winning a couple of times and taking the championship from Spud. But I know you love Lunce's List. How did you approach this topic of your 5 personal favorite game shows?
Almost as bad a game as poker is. All right, so we've had this discussion yesterday of what actually counts as a game show. And I believe if you ask everybody, all of the ones I came up with on my list of like 20 to narrow it down, everybody would not agree on every one of whether it is a game show, whether it is a competition show, whether it is a reality show, whatever it may be. However, I believe all the ones that I actually put on my list, even you will consider a game show. I hope that you consider a game show. You did not let me choose cooking shows. That's one that I can understand being on the fence, but it's basically all I watch now. But we may get to that at another point. And no physical competition shows really either.
Can we take people behind the scenes and have them watch you erase the whiteboard
I
from
forgot to erase
yesterday's
mine.
Lunce's
I forgot
List?
to erase mine. Sorry, hold on.
This will be fun.
Let me, and there it goes.
Let's
All right.
show people. People want to see the action. They want
Yeah,
to
I
see
wanna
that,
the action.
that
No,
eraser
I
action.
had to switch the camera. Sorry.
Okay, so that was yesterday's Lunce's List of best game controllers ever made. He cheaped out in the number 1 spot and picked keyboard and mouse, which I have strong opinions on.
Yes,
But
Spud, what did you think about the Xbox One X 7X64?
Mr. Darcy and I used to play on that a bunch.
Spud, how does it feel to be a champion?
Normal.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this you want to.
You were yelling out the answers to people's questions they were missing. I mean, that's how impactful you were with your trivia.
Well, you got to be good at something, and I could put other people against me here, and I would look not so good.
Number 5 of the best game shows ever
Yes.
created, according to John Lunsford, Stump the Schwab. You had quite a reaction to this. You loved that show.
Yes, he's amazing. The Schwab
Too
on
short-lived,
sports
too.
trivia. Yeah,
If ESPN brought something like this back, people may actually tune into ESPN again outside of live games.
You think so? So they won't tune in to a Tim Allen sitcom on ABC, but they'll tune in to somebody being stumped in sports trivia.
Gonna be honest, I think we'd all rather tune into Stump the
they
Schwab.
didn't stump him that much. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's right.
The Schwab knew a lot of stuff.
It was too short-lived. Stuart Scott was the host of it, which obviously has passed away since then, but was part of what made it so great. But yeah, a lot of people missed out on this, but it was so fun being sports people, working in sports and everything. I mean, this is before we really got into working in sports, but being around sports, playing football my whole life, this was a fun show to watch. It taught me a lot about sports. I don't necessarily follow like Major League Baseball when they're like, hey, name every, MVP, AL MVP or whatever, and you could sit there and learn a little bit about it as well. It had almost no prizes at first. I think the grand prize for winning the whole season of Stump the Schwab in the first season was like a free pair of tickets to a game of your choice. And then the next season it was like $5,000 and that's it. And you're used to, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something on the other side on ABC. But it was just a fun game to watch. And that dude, I feel like people who watch Game Day a lot have seen The Bear for a long time and look at him as like, oh, he's the one that knows everything and can tell you all the stats and all that. Way before him was Howie Schwab, and he is the absolute pinnacle of sports knowledge.
Stump the Schwab, much better than Sports Jeopardy. I will just throw that out over and over again. Much better product there with sports trivia. And they seem to be bringing back a lot of stuff for the Ocho and stuff every now and then, ESPN.
Hey, you bring back Stump the Schwab and you bring back Playmakers, I'm all in. Not that you don't watch it because we all got to watch the games anyway, but I mean, of just like normal programming, I'm all in on those two if they bring them back.
Let's go with number 4 on Lunce's list of your 5 favorite game shows ever produced. After starting there at number 5 with Stump
That was a
the Schwab.
surprise. Not that he's not good. I just hadn't thought about that show in a long time.
John has a lot of flavor in his lists for sure. You can also find great flavor at Culver's, home of the Butter Burger. Nice spreading of butter there on that top bun. It's an amazing thing.
Paint that picture.
I love it. I'm just going to
Spread it.
it's a beautiful thing. All the fixins on the deluxe Butter Burger. Number 4. Oh, this is one that Tyler was geeking out about before the start of the show. We didn't know if it would make the list, but Tyler, it's officially here. You're now a member of the Blue Barracudas. Let's get Tyler a microphone where he can react to Legends of the Hidden Temple making the cut.
Oh, why is it only at 4? That show was amazing. I would catch reruns of it before school, and I would actually set up alarms earlier so I could watch Legends of the Hidden Temple before I had to catch the bus.
Did you have a favorite team that would compete on that? Did you want to be a member of one of those teams based on their color and their animal?
I believe it was the Orange Iguanas.
The Orange Iguanas were
Silver
one.
snakes for me. I hate snakes, but I just like the look of the silver snakes because I was all about silver. I was a kid. I was a dumb kid. But I was the kind of kid that when I saw the Olympics, I saw the one that got the silver medal. I'm like, I like that one better. I feel like I'd rather have a silver medal than a gold medal. But no, it looked like 7-year-old John screaming at the top of his lungs in the Shrine of the Silver Monkey when they couldn't put the 3 things on top of each other in the right way. It's like it's 3 things, and you could clearly tell that it's like a puzzle that fits in place.
They put the feet on top.
What is wrong with you?
They would have all the pieces and not be able to put it together, and collecting the pieces was supposed to be the hard part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
like,
temple
I'm the
guard
same
would,
age as you, and you're awful at this. Come on.
the temple guard would jump out at the last minute.
Yeah.
Do you remember the show Finders Keepers? Does anybody remember that show where they'd go through a fake house and there'd be kids in a messy room trying to find an item?
Yeah.
The host would always be, if you go back and watch it, it's hilarious to me. The host would always be so rude to these kids. Like, look really closely. Where could it be? Could it be right there next to your left foot? No, not that way. He was just very angry the entire time. I'd love to see some sort of SNL skit or something based on a host trying to get kids to participate in a game show. But That was Legends of the Hidden Temple was one of those. Olmec, wasn't that the name of the
Olmec, voiced by D. Bradley Baker, I believe.
That's right.
Gosh, that's some knowledge there. That did not come up as a part of our Meltdown Triple Threat trivia. I believe that's the name of it. Let's go on to number 3 here on Lunce's list, as it has been 2 strong entries to start off with, but 2 that are really kind of out of left field, with Stump the Schwab at number 5, Legends of the Hidden Temple at number 4. One thing that's helpful for us in the chat is if you can give us all 5 of your favorite game shows in order in one chat, because I can just read them off at that point, and we can get a full context of what you would have 5th compared to what you would have 1st. All right, number 3, Jeopardy. And while I'm not surprised it's on the list, I'm surprised it's at the number 3 spot. Spud, you love Jeopardy.
It's a great show. One of my law school classmates was a 5-time champion back when Art Fleming was the host. Way back. It's endured. It's if you like trivia game shows, that's the gold standard.
It's quick hit. That's what I like about it. You know the category, and then it's quick hit. Hey, here's 5 questions and increasing difficulty. Boom. Get the answer right, wrong, doesn't matter. Boom. Get the answer right, wrong, doesn't matter. Boom. It's just constant.
But also what's great about it, it's not annoying at all, is after the first commercial break, the interview. Now, John, you actually rode a horse one time.
Yeah.
That's funny. I did. It was in Montana.
That's the good thing about now going back and watching on Hulu after every time they put an episode up. Like, the worst was, it helps me feel good about myself when I watch the celebrity ones or the kids ones, because you know all the answers to them all. But those kind of things, they interview even longer, because like, hey, well, tell us about the charity you're playing for today. You're doing a new movie coming out. It's like, no, I want to fast forward through all that. But that's the kind of thing I watch to make myself feel better about my knowledge.
Are those interviews good on any game show?
No. It's
That-
forced.
Well, the vast majority of them aren't TV people, so it's a dry interview. Now, like Alex Trebek may be good at it. I like Mia Bialik on it. She left because of the writer's strike, and then they basically said, bye, we don't want you, we'll do Ken Jennings instead. So I'm not a big fan of Ken Jennings as a host. I know he's a genius and he'd want all that money, but now with Ken Jennings and non-personalities, it makes it even worse.
So Ken Jennings there continuing to lead the Jeopardy hosting gig, but I don't know.
I get why they chose him.
Wasn't
It's
LeVar Burton
Yes.
like the number 1 choice by the fans of who they wanted? And
He was.
didn't happen to work
When they went
out?
through a bunch of the people, I feel like there were a lot of good choices that they didn't end up going with. I mean, they even did
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers hosting. But I thought they had the right choice with Bialik. But then when the writer's strike happened, she bolted. She was like, I'm going to join the picket line. She couldn't do Jeopardy and that at the same time. And then they basically said, well, because you did that, we'll just go with Ken Jennings. So they were kind of splitting duties somewhat to begin with.
All right, let's move on to number 2. 5 greatest game shows ever produced, according to John Lunsford. Jeopardy at number 3. John loves Jeopardy, so what could he love more than Jeopardy? That's what I'm unaware of here in the 2 spot. You think
Way to wellness.
Okay, that is true. He does love Way to Wellness.
I would too.
Not a lot of games being played.
At this rate, he won't make it to season 2 because he'll have lost his. Oh, hello. Good answer. Good answer.
Great answer.
People lose their minds over this show, and that is Cash Cab, which I feel like the reason it fell off was because only one person is capable of really hosting this show, and I'm not sure if you can tie that person into a lifelong contract.
And it's also on Discovery too, so it's hard to. It's not like a network show that like we can keep doing it in general, because Discovery, you don't even find it half the time. But it's the perfect thing to watch on vacation. Old reruns of Cash Cab. But it's like, let's take Jeopardy and let's put it in the middle of Manhattan with a bunch of people that don't even know they're going to be on a game show. And then let's do it. And like the way we're using Tyler for our lifeline, they shout out to random people on the street that have no idea what's going on. Like, you know, I'm obsessed with New York. I lived in New York for a short time. I am obsessed with everything New York. And it's like my lifelong dream to be on Cash Cab one day. That's never going to happen. But at the time it was like, I'm going to try to be on Cash Cab. I'm going to try to hit the streets. And
You're just on Meltdown Trivial Typos.
We hadn't got to number 1 yet.
Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia.
Yeah.
could be number 1. You never know.
Got a great
So
name.
John, I don't know anything about New York, but people would say, Where do you live? I live in Chelsea. Oh, that's 26 blocks down from the Flatiron Building.
And it's always like, hey, well, we're going to dinner. And it's like, well, hey, let's spend another hour answering this question. Because what kills me is when you kind of watch the behind the scenes of it, they jump in, the lights go off in the cab. And, of course, it's always a van, too. So that way, if you're getting like in a normal cab, it's probably not going to be it. But it's a van that come in, you're on cash cab. And they're all like, huh, what? I'm on cash cab? Well, they stop it filming right there because you got to get out, sign all the paperwork and everything, and then get back in and start filming. So I'm imagining all these people, if they really are going to like, hey, we're going to dinner and it's 30 blocks down the street. We got 10 minutes to be there.
I'm in labor.
It's like, but you could win, $10,000. Okay, you know what? We'll do it. And so we'll miss our dinner reservation. They got to get out. I'd love to just see like behind the scenes, like, okay, we got to sign all the paperwork. Hey, are you good? Hey, what's your birth date again? Okay, hold on. Do it.
Is he actually doing the driving or is he being pulled? I mean, I know they show exterior shots of the vehicle in motion. And
I have to imagine he's probably doing the driving, but a more controlled set than what it seems like.
What's his name again? Ben Bailey?
Ben Bailey.
Ben
What's great
Bailey.
is he's a stand-up comedian as well. And this is like the second time I've referenced Artie Lang. One of the shows, he picked up 3 comedians going to the cellar, I think. And the lights went off, and it was Artie Lang, and he was like, "Oh my God, Ben!" And he's like, "Well, it's Cash Cab." He's like, "Okay, I was about to say, like, is everything all right with you? Because we just shared a stage last year. Are you doing all right?" He's like, "No, I'm hosting a show."
A red light challenge.
Let's get into some of the 5 best according to the chat here. Brian says number 5, Pressure Luck. Number 4, Win
Press
Lose.
your luck.
You don't like Pressure Luck?
I like his
Whammies were
No
awful.
whammies, no whammies,
I'll
no
tell you,
whammies.
I will say this: if you haven't watched the Press Your Luck scandal,
Yeah.
Of memorizing the
documentary,
pattern. And
that's one of my heroes. That guy.
And he's been shunned from pop culture
He
history.
just beat
but
the system.
he beat the
Anybody that
system.
beats the system, I'm with.
And when you watch it, like it always, the minute they hit stop, a lot of times it
There's a
may
delay.
stop on the square it's on, but there's a giant delay and it flips to another square at that point. Like just watching it, it's like, this is kind of rigged. Just watching it from the outside. That's my biggest problem with it is that it seems totally rigged.
That's number 5 on Brian's list. Number 4, Win, Lose, or Draw.
Also good.
Number 3, Supermarket Sweep.
Great show.
I love Supermarket
Great
Sweep.
show.
They always go for the coffee grinds and the
Steaks
steaks and
And
the
the Tide.
hams, the big hams.
and the
stuff.
Tide, the detergents, the expensive stuff.
Price is Right at number 2, and Name That Tune at number 1. That guy says number 5, Match Game. Number 4, The Weakest Link. Number
Yes.
3, Cash Cab. Number 2, Double Dare. Number 1, Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader? Benjamin says number 5, Legends of the Hidden Temple. Number 4, Newlyweds Game. Number 3, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Number 2, MXC.
Most extreme elimination challenge.
Oh,
Most
now
extreme-
that's fantastic. The original one with the
Now
with
that's
the,
not a game show according to your rules, but
the voiceover, but
I have a lot of
that
it's
was
more just comedy.
that was appointment viewing
it
there.
was- it was
Here's
funny.
a Baba Ganoush going down the slope.
And number 1, Jeopardy for Benjamin. We'll finish here with Jody. Number 5, Win Ben Stein's Money. Number
Yes, that's a good
4, Remote Control. Number 3, Hollywood Squares. Number 2, Family Feud. Number 1, Jeopardy. I'm surprised
I can
not
never get into Hollywood Squares.
a lot of Wheel of Fortune love here.
Ugh.
And it's been around forever.
I know.
And I love Wheel of Fortune. Am I the only one? Everyone's shaking their head in disgust.
I'm not a big like Heyman player, which I guess is kind of the same philosophy of trying to guess the word. I'd rather you just ask me the question and I can either have multiple choice or just guess the answer, as opposed to, oh, we got to spell the answer. Oh, there's so far there's just a T. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's a place. There's a lot of places that start with the T. That's what I don't like.
All right, Vanna, will you reveal the puzzle here for number 1?
This is one that I had a 6th one that I absolutely could not leave off, but I felt like, I have to only do 5, obviously, but this is a solid number 6 for me that I love, and it goes along the same lines of something like Jeopardy and Cash Cab with like quick hit questions, is the chase. I love the chase.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love the
Yes.
original version. I love even the American version they redid. I don't know if it's still on or not, but with the Beast chasing you down, and they brought the Jeopardy people in on the ABC version. They tried to start over, but I thought that was a really good show. A lot of quick hit questions, and it's always kind of fun having that extra element of like, oh, we're chasing you. If you get the question wrong, we're potentially going to catch you. But anyway, I like that one too. I had to include that.
All right. One thing that you need to include in your search for the next piece of property of your dreams, that is Jim Wilson. He's the realtor that we trust here at The Meltdown. Honesty, integrity, and information dissemination. That's the foundation in which Jim Wilson is building to get you onto your next foundation. Bringing back trust and confidence in real estate agents, that's a top priority for Jim Wilson. Jim's not happy until you're happy. Each of his clients has his full attention and devotion to get what they need and want. He's still active with the U.S. military, and he's ready to serve you today with jimwilson.locationre.com. That is location with a K. Once again, we appreciate our friend Jim Wilson with Location Real Estate. All right, number one, Match Game, and then in parentheses,
Match Game 73 is when it got
1973. Good. This is another shocker for me. I didn't think in any world John Lunsford would have Match Game over Jeopardy, but you have now outed yourself as a huge Match Game fan. Tell us about the appeal.
It's more entertaining than Jeopardy. It's the most entertaining of the game shows, other than when I was 7 watching the kids not be able to do the Shrine of the Silver Monkey. But like it has a good host with Gene Rayburn. The personalities they had on there were good. It introduced me to a lot of personalities, not being my time period. That you know Betty White, Richard Dawson, some of the people that will be on there. But there's a lot of people that's like, oh, who's that person? And then my mom tells me, oh, that's who that is. Oh, okay. And then you learn more about them at that point because they made a funny joke on Match Game. But I feel like the people who play Match Game are total idiots that can't ever come up with anything. Because a lot of times I feel like the question's leading to where, hey, there's a pretty obvious answer to the blank you're supposed to fill in. And 5 of the 6 panelists at least get that answer. And then they ask the person, and they come up with a word that doesn't even make sense with the sentence that is read out loud. But yeah, and then I liked it when they brought it back. Alec Baldwin was the host. There's a reason it's not on anymore. They say it has nothing to do with that. But the announcement came out like 6 months after.
John talking about the shooting on the set of Rust that we're still learning more about.
Because I think that happened in 2021 and like summer of 2022. They're like, because they did a lot of those like that, To Tell the Truth, a lot of those old game shows, $100,000 Pyramid or whatever. They brought those back kind of as like a summer thing when there's not new shows on. And Match Game was the only one really I watched because Alec Baldwin did a decent job hosting it. But then like that next summer, it's like, oh, is it coming back? Oh, no, we had decided to cancel that like a year ago. And it's like, no, you didn't. You're clearly doing it for a reason. But anyway, I would love for them to bring it back with somebody else. But the game is just entertaining. And if you get the right 6 people up there as the celebrities, it's incredible to watch.
This is the only one on Lunce's list that you saw in reruns for the first time.
Yes.
The only one where you saw it in syndication for the first time, because Jeopardy's still ongoing today. Cash Cab, obviously. You have to kind of search for it, but it's there. Legends of the Hidden Temple you saw in the heyday in the 90s. And Stump the Schwab you saw in the early 2000s.
Yep.
What do you think about the number 1 pick, Match Game? Were you a fan, Spud?
I will watch it. You guys have all been in the media a long time. Why did Gene Rayburn need such a long microphone? I mean, I understand
it's just the style.
It is.
His only, but Charles Nelson Riley and Brett Summers, Fannie Flagg was on there. Nipsey Russell was on there. They had a lot of pretty good. I'm much more into the questions and the challenge. So by far, the channel I watch the most on TV at my house is Game Show Network. And they've got some new ones called America Says, which is kind of a Family Feud kind of thing, which didn't get mentioned. Hardly.
Okay.
And it's got John Michael Higgins hosts that, and he also hosts one called Split Second that's really good. And there's one called Switch, and I don't know who the host is, which and they have the newest Masterminds, which is Jeopardy level questions for 3 people who would be like chasers. So I'm much more into
trivia versus
the entertainment value. Yeah. However, When Ben Stein's Money got one mention, and that was I never missed an episode of that.
Very fun show.
Would you consider the Gong Show a game show?
By the criteria that was laid out, no.
But I don't think it'd be making your top 5.
No, it wouldn't be making my top 5.
Make my top 5 for sure.
A few people in the chat have thrown the Gong Show out there.
They have. One thing we all love is competition, if you couldn't tell from our Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. John, for those that really are craving competition, you have the spot for them, and it's our title sponsor here on the Meltdown.
Yeah, go to MyBookie.ag because I love the competition, not only watching the competition, but hey, putting a little action on the competition as well. Go to MyBookie.ag, play NBA, NHL, college basketball, everything that's going on right now. UFC 299 coming up this weekend. And, like I mentioned, the Academy Awards. It's a kind of a competition all year long to see what the best movie is, and you can actually put a little action on the Academy Awards as well, although Oppenheimer's a pretty stout favorite in most things that it's nominated for. But yeah, go to MyBookie.ag, use promo code NEXTROUND. It's right there on the screen, promo code NEXTROUND, all one word. Use that for your first deposit bonus there with MyBookie, and also play in the casino. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with our friends at MyBookie.
And if you're looking for a great dinner option tonight, we recommend our studio sponsor, Culver's. There's something on the menu for everyone. in your family at Culver's. If you can't decide what to eat, Culver's is the option for you with their variety of menu options. You're going to love it. We promise. Try Culver's of Birmingham or Culver's of Hoover and tell them the Meltdown sent you. Spud, how did it feel? Episode number 1 of you being a part of the show.
I cannot wait for my next opportunity. This was more fun than it deserved to be.
Are you willing to put up your triple threat trivia crown?
I don't really have a choice, but you're going to bring in EG, and I've seen her abilities, so I was really be down just me and John at that time.
Oh, wow.
Does he have to put the popcorn? That's like kind of like a crown. You put the popcorn topper on
Can
his
you
head.
hold
That's
the
crown.
popcorn bucket as your trophy today? Can you hold it in your
I went
hands?
with the lemon lime body armor, but
Yeah, hold it up really
There we
proudly. Oh, he kissed it like
There
the
we go.
Stanley Cup. There we go. That's going to do it. Before we get banned on all of our social media platforms for you making out with the Dune popcorn bucket, this has been The Meltdown presented by MyBookie, broadcasting live from the Culver studio.